welcome to another edition of the Pete Braley Show. Thank you so much for joining us. This is the show that tries to shine the spotlight on people that have made a contribution to making our life better here in Greater New Bedford and in southeastern Massachusetts. How many of us have enjoyed a hot dog, or a few, at Gary's Best Hot Dogs on Ashley Boulevard in New Bedford? Recently, the owners posted on Facebook they will be closing for January and February, reopening in March, but then contemplating retirement in 2025. So please welcome to the show today the man and the woman behind Gary's Best Hot Dogs. We have Joe Franco and his wife, Anita. Thank you so much for coming in.
You're welcome. You're welcome. It's a
Great
pleasure.
to see you, and I can't imagine how much money I've spent at your place over the years.
We appreciate that.
Now, the Facebook post said after 40 years in business, total retirement is on your agenda for 2025.
Yes.
A difficult decision, I would imagine.
Yes.
Yes, it is.
Yes. Especially for him. That was his baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't believe it. It's already come up.
And Anita, it was your Facebook post that I read,
Yes.
and did it surprise you, the reaction that this had? I mean, the paper picked it up, TV stations picked it up.
Yeah, I was perclumped, overwhelmed. I wasn't exactly telling him initially how much support we had from the community. I mean, over the years, it was just overwhelming to read. And initially I wasn't with him to read this. I was reading it on my own, and I was like, okay, I've got to tell this man to make him believe and appreciate, what the community, how they feel about him.
Yeah.
It's 40 years. That's a long time. You don't see that much nowadays.
And it's more than just selling hot dogs. It's sponsoring the Little League teams. You told me today before we started about you had a Gary's Best Bowling League.
Yeah.
How many teams?
Yeah, 95 guys bowling and 66 women.
Wow.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's the community, the involvement that you've had. Not to mention, I have a few things I want to ask you about, but I mean, the number of people that must have worked for you
Over the years, yes.
that are now probably in their 40s and 50s. Am I right? Yeah.
I mean, grandchildren. It's just overwhelming.
Yeah,
Some
it's
of the
amazing.
stories that I read on the comments on the post. Then there's people messaging me through Facebook, just saying, "Wow, I lived behind the hot dog stand, and I went to Vogue, and I remember skipping class just to go have a hot dog, coming back to school." Or just going home and getting in trouble because of that,
True, yeah.
But it's just amazing.
Let's go back to the beginning. What were you doing before? You must have been working somewhere, right?
Yeah.
What was life like before Gary's Hot Dogs?
I was working at Continental Screw Company. I worked there 12 years. And then company closed down one day. And then the next day, I got on a plane and we flew to Hawaii. We had a vacation. Yeah.
Yeah, already been
Closed
planned.
today, Hawaii the next day.
Hey, why cancel, right?
Right, why cancel that?
Yeah.
So we got down there, so she's getting a suntan, and I'm sitting there, and the sun's beating. I'm saying, man, it's so hot out here, right? And I'm watching the sunfish. Don't ask me why. And it was going back and forth, back and forth. Finally made a little area, and he must have been feeling the heat from the sun. So I goes, I guess when I go back, I'm going to open up a hot dog stand. Don't ask me how I come up with this idea. So she's laid out. so I goes, yeah. So I don't say nothing. Later on, we go out for supper. I says, hey, I think going to open up a hot dog stand when I get home. Sure. Don't worry about it. So meanwhile, we're working on it. So I got a job at Cushnet Rubber Division, pressing molds.
Yeah.
And I was working from midnight, 10:15 at night to 6:15 in the morning. So I did that for a year and a month. And I started the process of building the hot dog stand, and that's what we did.
You built the building?
No, I had people do it.
Yeah.
Father and son built
Okay.
it.
All right.
And so we did that, and then get all the permits to do this and do that.
Yeah,
you know.
There's so much to that.
And the people coming in, checking it out. And then I never forget the day that I'm getting ready to open up. I got everything going, and the Board of Health comes in, and he's checking out, and he says, "Before I say yes, I gotta have a hot dog." I says, "I'll never forget those words. I gotta have a hot dog." I says, "Okay." So, like I said, I had everything ready to go.
That was Mother's Day
Make him a hot
weekend.
dog.
Yeah.
Give it to him. He goes, "Folks, hang on, hang on,
Yes.
hang on. It's a go."
It's a go.
Yeah, he was all excited. Yeah. And the people just kept lining up. This is our first day open. I mean, they line to the sidewalk, around into the parking lot, around the back. I'm going, I said, "Oh, this is good."
And this was Mother's Day weekend,
Mother's Day,
1984.
1984.
1984.
Yeah.
Wow.
Our first day open.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
and the
was
people
a
were
fun
so excited.
weekend.
Thank you for opening up. Thank you.
We had balloons, we had clowns, we had a lot of extra things just to make
Yeah.
the opening, kind of special.
You've always, in my opinion, you've always done things right. You know, I mean,
Thank you.
I can remember how many years did I spend with George Hines from WBSM?
Yeah.
How many Halloweens
Yeah.
did I spend there with
Yeah.
the Halloween contest?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It was
The
nice.
costume contest. I
Yeah.
mean,
I did a 30-year anniversary, just to say thank you to all my customers and everything. So I did 6 hot dogs, a bag of chips, and a soda for $1.75. True.
That was
6?
Hot
Yes.
dogs, a bag of chips, and a soda
Wow.
for $1.75. I had people from all over the
lines-
country.
The lines
Okay.
were
The
crazy.
line went from the hot dog stand to the corner of York Street, and the line never left there until midnight.
Yeah, we were open late back then.
Wow.
And
We were open till midnight. Yeah.
I had police officers to direct the traffic, so nobody would get into an accident, nobody get hurt.
Yeah.
And we had clowns, face painters, still walkers, old cars there. I tried to get as much stuff I could in there.
Sure.
And
They get a big
then
celebration,
on
yeah.
Sunday, I had Mike Kudo
Yes.
and
Billy Mulligan.
Billy
yeah,
Mulligan.
Bill.
Yeah.
And they came, and he says, "Joe, I only can do it an hour. I got to be somewhere." I says, "Thank you.
Appreciate
Just
that.
thank you."
And he
wanna-
wrote a song for
Yep.
you, right?
Yeah,
did.
Yeah.
wrote
Yeah,
the song,
he wrote a
sang
song for
it.
us,
People
yeah.
went absolutely nuts over this, right?
Yeah.
And
It,
then
should,
we-
it should be on YouTube. I'm pretty sure I saw
and
it there
I'll tell
before.
you, it was
Yeah.
best time. And I tell you, the people appreciated it so much that day, those 2 days that I did, and they kept saying, "Thank you for what you're doing. Thank you."
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. It's great.
Every year he tries to have something on Mother's Day
Mother's Day,
weekend, just
the anniversary,
even if
yeah.
it's something small, But the major ones, I think he started with the 25th,
Yep.
and then it was the 30th,
30th, and then the
31st,
40th.
and the 40th. Yeah.
So I always tell people Gary's Best Hot Dogs run by a guy named Joe. So the name, I understand it was almost Franco's Franks,
Yep.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And because when you decide to start a business, of course you have to have a name for it.
Right.
So tell everyone who Gary is,
Gary is our 44-year-old son.
who at the time was
At the time
Four.
was 4 years old. And if you remember, in the Standard Times, every time around Mother's Day weekend, we would have an advertisement saying what kind of special we had.
with his picture.
And it would
right?
have his picture, and as he was growing older, you could see him growing up. And when it got to the point he was like, 18, somewhere around that age, he said, enough, Mom. I don't think I want this anymore. As a child, he used to say, I have no identity. My dad is Gary, and I have no identity. It was like, a performance.
Yes.
That kind of thing. So, but he's
Yeah.
always been Joe.
What
And
does he do?
he is a CRNA, Certified Registered Nurse Anesthetist.
Okay.
So he puts people to sleep, which he loves.
Yeah.
He did nursing, and when he wanted to progress, it was either nurse practitioner or giving anesthesia. And I'm a retired nurse, and I used to tell him, you really don't want to bring the work home or get a lot of work dumped on you in a doctor's office. Let's face it, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So do the anesthesia, you leave it there and you come home, that kind of thing. So he's been doing that for quite a few years. Exactly, I'm not sure, but quite a few years. Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
I did ask Joe before the show started whether or not you still like hot dogs.
Yes, I do.
You do. Okay.
I do. Yes.
Can't you tell?
How about you? Do you still like hot dogs?
I rarely. I rarely
Rarely?
have them.
You had 2 of them last night.
I had 2 of them last night. Yeah, but that's because
Also-
we were there.
You have quite the varied menu now. Was it always that way, or did things evolve?
Well, I added on stuff over the years.
Right.
You know, like I started out with just hot dogs, and then I brought in cohogs. I brought in. We did cazuela. We still do. I used to do linguiça. I haven't done it because of what I've been through this year. You know, I take the linguiça, skin it, break it all up in pieces, cook it, marinate it. People loved it. They still ask for it.
On a Portuguese pop,
Yeah.
you know.
And you get a sandwich like this.
Yeah.
Did you have a cooking background, or did you just learn this on as you were going?
At home, we either cooked or we starved, so we cooked.
Well,
There were 7 of us.
yeah, but you
Oh, wow.
you worked at other hot dog stands.
Yes, I did.
I mean,
Okay.
part-time, he always had 2, 3 jobs, you know, that kind of thing.
I did not realize until my children moved to other parts of the country. Thank you, U.S. Navy.
Yeah.
But I've got some in Texas, and I have a son in Virginia Beach.
Wow.
Hot dog stands are not a big thing down there.
I know.
In fact, when I'm down there and I want a hot dog, we go to Sonic, and I'm like, this is
Yeah.
not
No.
going for a hot dog. Is that a New England thing?
No.
I don't know. I think it is.
Oh, I mean the hot dogs over here.
Yeah,
Yeah,
No, I mean,
yeah.
the fact
Okay.
that the
Yeah.
hot dog stands,
Yeah.
Yeah.
they don't seem to exist in other parts
When,
of
when,
the country.
when I opened up, there was a lot of hot dog stands, and all of a sudden they came crashing down.
Yeah.
You know.
Okay.
So I stuck to Gary's Best, 1 hot dog stand. It's good.
We've
Yeah,
always been
there's the
asked.
temptation to open other places.
No.
And you
One,
had-
one was enough for him to take care of, and I didn't
yeah.
want to be dragged in when I had my own job
Well,
to
I
do.
noticed that when I was running the hot dog stand, I noticed, and I was hiring people and firing people and everything, and I noticed that I says, well, if I open up another hot dog stand, that means I
How am I
gotta
gonna-
do some more hiring and firing.
Am I
I
going
go,
to get
right.
those?
Nah, I'll stick
that
to this.
Yeah.
keep it low key.
What's your favorite way to have a hot dog? What do you get?
Me on the hot dog?
On your order, what do you get?
Well, I used to get the works celery salt. Now I get mustard and onions. That's it.
Let me ask a professional. Is it okay to have ketchup on a hot dog?
Yes, it is.
Thank you.
Yes, it is.
I've had so many debates on the radio over the
yeah.
years.
Yep.
It amazes me the things people want to argue about.
I
Nothing wrong
keep it
with
going.
that. Nothing
Keep it
wrong
going.
with
Keep it
that.
Going.
I actually, I always get cheese dogs. I don't know why. That was my thing. I discovered it, and I used to be 2 cheese dogs and a coffee milk, but I've gone to water now to
Right.
cut
And
that down.
sauerkraut is popular. Another thing that linguiça sauce that we have.
We have linguiça sauce we put over the hot dog, and you can put cheese on it.
Oh wow.
Okay. We have
Taco dogs,
taco
rodeo
dogs, rodeo dogs, cheeseburger dogs.
Okay.
Oh yeah, and it moves. Everything moves.
Yeah.
You know.
And it's some of our long-term employees. We have a few that came up with these ideas as time went by.
I was wondering how. Yeah.
We have some employees that have been working for us since they were like 15.
I believe it.
And it's, a part-time thing. They still are involved with us.
Yeah.
They may have other jobs. It's usually in the food industry as well.
Yeah.
But they always want to keep their foot in there.
In the doorway.
Yeah, yeah.
So did I have the time frame right? You're going to close for January and February.
Right.
You are planning to reopen in March,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Okay. And then, you have any idea yet? Are you getting
That's-
offers? Are you?
We're getting a lot of interest to the point there are at least 3 that are really, really interested and want to talk further when we get back from our closed vacation.
Right.
While we're closed, we go on our trip usually in January into February. Over the years, we did stay open, but there were issues. He was always worried about the place.
Yeah, you
That
got
kind of
you got to
thing.
hands on, right, all the
So
time.
the past 4 or 5 years, we've just closed up completely those weeks that we are away. But with January and February closing, we're feeling we can give it a paint job. We can clean up, deep cleaning, get it ready for selling.
Right.
Once we get back, then we'll seriously hire a realtor or a lawyer and get that process going.
Right. Right.
It's just difficult. We're having a difficult time just putting a price on something that's meant so much for 40 years to this man,
imagine.
you know?
I can imagine.
It's his retirement because he never saved, and he always had the prices reasonable for everyone. So the business took care of itself, which was wonderful, but he never saved for his future. So this is going to be something we really have to think about and get a decent number.
Yeah, I can understand.
Yeah.
Any thoughts on what you're going to do in retirement? Any plans?
Yeah, I'm going to do yard work.
Did you say yard work or yacht work?
Yacht, boy, yeah, yacht sounds better.
Yeah, yacht work.
Yeah.
Yard work. Yeah, he was a realtor. He used to do landscaping, like as a part-time thing. This man was a jack of all trades, you know, before the holidays.
I painted boats in Kelly's boatyard
Yeah, he did a lot of different things.
from midnight on.
Wow.
Yeah, the boats would come in, the fishing boats. I spray them down, dry them up, put a coat and a primer, spray it, dry it up, put a coat of paint on, spray it, dry it up, put another coat of paint on,
Wow.
and then 4 or 5 hours, they would come over and says, "Hey, is the boat ready?"
Yeah.
The boat's on his way out to catch some more fish.
Wow.
So that preserves the boat from rusting up
Yeah.
with the salt water.
He wasn't the type of guy to
Sit down, watch
sit
TV.
and
Sit and watch TV. huh?
Now is a different story.
Oh yes.
Get your recliner?
Oh yeah, my recliner man goes up and up.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. And she yells at me, "Is that all you're gonna do today?"
I should mention that Joe was named the Standard Times Man of the Year for Acushnet in 2013. The article noted his exceptional willingness to donate to community causes like Votex After Prom Party, Relay for Life events, the Acushnet Veterans Memorial Committee, to name a few. That must have felt good.
Oh, he did. So excellent. But yeah, I got involved with the Acushnet
Lions Club.
Lions Club, and I tell you, people are fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic. And everything, I told them, whatever I can do for you, I'll do it. No questions asked.
He's grateful
say so.
for, you know, the years of success. He's
Yeah.
grateful. So he likes to give back.
COVID must have been tough. And so many small businesses did not survive COVID.
No.
You did.
Yeah, well, we got in there, and I told her, I says, I can't stay closed.
Well,
Can't stay closed.
I had to listen to what, you know, the regulations were, first of all. So we had closed, and I was always in contact, Board of Health, and et cetera, just to make sure I knew when we could reopen. And what we did is just open like part-time.
Okay.
We did a few days a week. I let the people know this is our hours, and we're working together. Don't even want to go there.
Oh, my God.
Don't even want to go there. Working for him, I was like, I pity your employees. Because he ended up treating me like an employee.
Somebody asked me once how I would, you know, this was before my wife got into medicine. She's a paramedic.
Yeah.
And before she did that, you know, someone said, why don't you see if your wife wants to work at the radio station? I just went, no. And they said, what do you mean? I said, you know, I love her.
Yeah.
You know, we're best friends, but I work and then I go home. I don't want that too.
It's funny. He would serve the hot dogs, and I'd be doing the chips, the register, the soda, and all that stuff. And it would be like a pushover, shove, to do what he needed to do. And it would be do this, do that, do this. And I'm like, hey, wait a minute. I'm your wife, not your employee, and I'm not getting paid for this. I don't want to do this anymore.
The customers loved it.
Oh, my gosh.
They thought it was a show
hysterical.
all by itself.
Yeah, I'm sure it was. Yeah. Too bad we didn't film any of that.
Yeah, I
That
know,
would have
huh?
been hilarious.
And like I said, the people were so grateful for us being open.
For a few days.
Especially the people from Freetown. We have no place to go to eat.
Yeah.
Thank you, Gary. Thank you so
Hot
much
dogs, yeah.
for opening up and serving us.
Right.
I says, well, come over here. So, look on the side. You're going to see the sideshow over here. The wife's going to go out the window shortly. Oh, man.
And it's been funny because I've been getting these messages on Gary's Best Facebook Messenger. It's like, I need a T-shirt. here's my address, I'll send you a check, you know? So now I'm taking orders.
There you go.
So I go New Hampshire, I've got one from New Hampshire, I've got one from Maine. I've sent shirts as far as Texas, Florida, a few other states.
Really?
It's amazing.
I know when my daughter comes home from Tech, in fact, we were there. I should have called.
Yeah.
When my daughter comes home from Texas for a visit, she has one or two things that she has to have, and one of them is Gary's Best Hot Dogs.
There you go.
Well, there's a couple that live in Florida. They used to live here. They live in Florida, and every time they make it up, they don't go home to check their house or anything. They come to Gary's Best,
First.
and then they go home.
Yeah, it's funny.
Why do you think that? I mean, the hot dogs are delicious, but why do you think that is? Why do you think people, they have to come and see you because of their memories or what?
I believe so, because we treated them
Yeah.
real good, you know, treat them nice.
I mean, you know,
We served
yeah,
a decent meal, not
reasonable,
expensive,
Reasonable, yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
like some place we go, you know, but I don't want to talk about that.
Yeah.
Right,
But anyways, and I feel
No,
this
it's
just,
always been reasonable.
you know,
Yeah.
and the people love it. And they come by, and now they come up to me. I was in Market Basket, and a woman comes over and hugs me, and she starts crying. I goes, "What's the matter? Are you all right?" She goes, "Your clothes. How could you?" It wasn't easy.
I'm sure.
Not an easy decision.
She goes, "Who do I call for the blame?" The wife.
I always get the blame.
You know,
Yep,
and
yep.
and I mean the people are. Oh my God! Every day, they just keep coming up and saying.
Yeah.
I says, "Hey, 40 years flew by."
Yeah.
And I said, "Thank you." A lot of
it's
people
time.
grew old with me. A lot of people, their families grew.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
We
Mr.
got
B, the
grandchildren.
father, the mother.
There's a few great grandchildren too, depending,
Oh, yeah.
you know, how that happened.
yeah.
But
Oh
it's-
yeah.
We
It's
only have a
amazing.
few minutes left, but you sent me some pictures today,
No.
and I hope we can use some of them. People have been sending you hot dog related stuff for years.
Years.
Can you tell?
Yes.
We'll show some of the pictures, but are there some that stick out in your mind?
The
Was that
marionette.
Scooby Doo with a hot dog?
Yeah,
I saw?
that's Scooby Doo, and he does this little dance with the hot dog. I mean, it's crazy. The one that really kind of stands out is the marionette. My girlfriend and her husband ended up finding this in this unique store type of thing, and it's actually a marionette that you can pose in different positions. Looks like a cowboy, and it's hanging in our kitchen, and it has since that day that they gave it to us.
Wow.
But it's so cute to look at. That will always stay there. That will hang there forever.
So these are people that travel or whatever. They go into souvenir stores or where they see something hot dog related.
Oh my gosh!
And
yeah.
they think of you.
Yep.
Yeah.
I've got earrings. I've got bracelets. I've got, hats. The things go on and on and on. It's crazy what they have out there.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
We've got hot dog Christmas lights to put on the tree. I mean,
Is there a hot
unbelievable.
dog on your Christmas tree? There must
Oh,
be.
yeah, there's at least 3 or 4. At least. At least. Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
It's true.
Yep. And over the years, especially with the anniversaries, we've purchased pens with our name on it, keychains, letter openers, all kind of different items just to give back. And we'd have it in a box at the window and just, take
Sure.
that kind of thing.
Sure.
Just for a little bit of advertisement as well,
Wow.
Yeah. It's been a
I
great
can't.
run.
It amazes me sometimes when I stop and think of how many people that must have worked there over the years. Usually they're young, right?
Right. Yep.
They're either high school.
15,
Yeah.
16 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we used to hire that young back then, 15 and 16. With school now and all these after-school activities,
right.
and sports and all that, it's hard to actually hire that young, plus the fact that they shouldn't be working evenings at that age.
True.
At a place like that, anything can happen, you never know. So it's basically been 17 or older. And we do get the high school, age 17, 18, kids that really aren't involved in sports or whatever, and they want to work. then they stay with us if they go to college locally.
Okay.
So they work for us. We've had several employees that have worked for us through college and have gotten a job. I can think of one in particular, Nick, who worked for us for years, went to college, and ended up a teacher.
Oh.
And I believe he's still at Namandon Junior High as a teacher.
Not far away
And
from
yeah,
Gary.
No,
yeah.
no, and they walk
Yeah.
by all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've had three sisters who worked for us. They shared the hours awesomely. There's videos out there of them serving customers. We have these connoisseurs of hot dogs that go around to the different hot dog stands, and
I've seen
and-
people
yeah,
do reviews.
Yeah, review.
Yeah.
So there's a few out there with that, and
Yeah.
and when I see these girls, I'm like, oh my gosh, they're married to them. I believe I'm married with children, and all this. So a lot of memories come back.
I would assume always good reviews.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a few, but what he has always taught his employees, if there's a complaint, you take care of it right then and there.
Okay.
And people
Yeah.
need to learn to come back to the window and complain instead of after the fact. And I received the messenger complaints where, oh, this happened, that happened. I'm like, why didn't you go right back to the window?
Yeah.
They'll make it right.
Right.
Why are you saying it now? And then I'll say, go back there, make that same order, we'll give it to you for nothing. So, I leave the information with the employees that, this person's coming back because they had an issue. End of story.
Right.
Yeah.
That's good customer service,
They don't have to leave it there and go pass it all around town.
Yeah, yeah.
But they got bad hot
Yeah.
dogs at the Gary's Best.
If something's
Because if there was
wrong,
an issue, you'll correct it.
yes,
Right,
Right.
that's what we
yes.
try to do all the time.
Simple.
Yeah. Yeah.
Simple.
Well, I do want to say that on behalf of, it's hard to speak for everyone, but on behalf of all the people that have enjoyed hot dogs or Cohogs or whatever
Yeah.
Gary's hot dogs, my family always jokes when I say, oh, I got a game at Vogue tonight. They look at me and they go, Gary's? I'm like, of course. I always try to get there an hour before the game
Yeah,
starts,
yeah.
so I allow myself an hour and a half.
There you go.
Thank you so much. Not
You're very
only
welcome.
not only for the hot dogs, but for all you've done for the community. I mean,
you.
I've only touched on it. I'm sure there's many more, and there's probably things that you've kept quiet that you've done that you don't want everyone to know about. Thank you.
You're
Thank you.
welcome.
Thank you, thank you. If you know someone that you think we should have on, please let me know. You can reach me a number of different ways. I'm on Facebook, so is Anita. I'm on Facebook, I'm on X, I'm on the new one, Blue Sky. You can also email me. It's thepetebraleyshow@gmail.com. That's thepetebraleyshow@gmail.com. As we always do, we leave you with a thought for the day, and our thought this time around is, when you try something, you risk failure. But when you don't try, you ensure it. Give it a shot. Try. It worked for Joe 40 years ago. Until next time, I'm Pete Braley. Go out and make it a great day.